if you'd love a garden full of color by summer, here in late March, the beginning of April is the perfect time to start taking cuttings. It's getting warmer, the ground is warming up, and these perennials are starting to wake up, and there's a lot of life in these cuttings.
That's true. And the first one we're going to do is this really nice lupine. And so what I've done, I'm going to show you also where on the ground I do, but all this has actually been under the ground. So I just cut that off. And what I do, I use these pots with the drainage holes and this composting soil here, which is really airy and rich. And I place them on the side here too. And next to that, I just gently push it down here so it gets contact with the soil.
And the reason we put things on the side is because if you plant them more than one cutting, always more than one cutting is a great idea, because you never know if one isn't going to root. And this way, when we take them out, if they're on the side, you don't run the same risk of disturbing them if they were all in the middle and their roots had all grown together.
That's true. So I'm actually just going to go in here and find some really good ones. And you can see the mother plant here is really big. So I'm actually just going to go down and find here. There's one kind of out on the side. So I take my knife here and cut a little bit in the ground. And actually this wasn't so deep down. And then you can see this has actually still soil on it. And this is, it was right on the side there. I'll do another one so you can see. So again, I find one here.
Hey, let me come.
Can you see it down here?
Yeah.
So I'll try and see if because there's a bunch here. And I always do quite a lot of pots because in that way, in case some don't make roots. Let's see here, this one also has, that's why it was attached to the side, right under the ground. So here I have two really great ones. And it's good to do it now because then there's not too much foliage. It still needs some to create these roots, and it will take around 6 to 8 weeks. Just place it, make a little indentation there in the soil. Pinch it with 2 fingers here, and then one on the other side on the edge. And then we actually always use this soil here, which is great. And then I add some water here in the beginning. Keep an eye on that when the surface starts to dry out, I'm going to water it. And always a little name tag, because it's impossible to remember the name and the date. And then within these 6 to 8 weeks, depending on what plant it is and how warm it is, we're going to stick it in our greenhouse and keep an eye on it. I won't plant it out before I can see clearly the roots down here or some growth in the top. And then these ones will be, typically it will be the color will, this is a white lupine, then typically a basal cutting will be a copy of the mother plant. So here's like actually a bunch of new free plants, and then we're going to do the next one.
And now we're over here at one of our delphiniums. You know, just the other day we went to the gardening center, and this was around $20 US for a delphinium. That was basically, they had gone from a cutting, and now we're about to get one for free.
Here we go. So I found one here on the edge. They all in great growth here. So again, I cut down. Oh, I got a good one, I think. There we go, see? Here we have got it. So there's still soil on it. I don't scrape that off, and it has the top here. If it has too much, you could easily take a little bit off so it focuses on the roots instead of creating new growth right away. Again, I put it on the edge, and this stem is a bit harder than the lupine up there, so I'm going to put it down there.
Let's get one more so I can really show.
Okay.
Maybe I move this tulip.
You want it over here? That's a
Then
bunch.
it's easier to see.
It grows so close anyway, so I'll try and get one here.
Get one. Hold on.
I'll get
there we go.
This small one here. Okay, there we go. I think so. Did we get it? Yeah. So here we go. Oh, that was a good one too. And we place that on the other side.
And again, it's a great time to go out and see what perennials are coming up. For example, depends on where you are. Maybe hydrangea are really good now. Maybe lavender, maybe butterfly bushes, rosemary. But ours aren't ready to do cuttings of those right now. So this is what we're taking here in our garden.
So here we have a very pretty one, also an early flowering, is Lychnis. And that one is just really, really pretty. Also coming up now, and there's so many. I think I'm going to do this one here. It's a white variety. We also have it in pink. And these ones are very soft compared to some of the other ones. In general, most of them are soft, but this one is a bit more soft than the Delphinium here. Let's see if I can get it down here. A little bit tough to cut
So
there.
these basal cuttings are all pretty much the same process. Hold on, can I see that again?
Yeah.
I didn't focus.
So again, here was under the surface here. So that was all the new growth here. So again, like you mentioned, it's all the same. I make a little, just so it gets contact, and then I'm right afterwards. I finished here, adding another one, add water, and just leave it. And another important thing, I put it on a shelf in the greenhouse. If you don't have a greenhouse, you could also put it somewhere in a windowsill, not in direct sunlight. Maybe you're like half sunny, so you don't want to burn it in the beginning. But if you don't have greenhouse or like a porch, we also use our porch, you could have it somewhere else, a little bit sheltered, and try and do these cuttings. Let's do one more. Maybe this one here.
Okay, let me get closer. Ready.
Are you ready?
Ready.
I have to wait for my camera guy. There we go. Let's move it up. We got it. Ta-da. Doesn't look like much, but just give it time. So we are at the Valerian, really pretty white one, attracts a bunch of insects. So this one I definitely need some cuttings off and more free plants. So here I found one. Here actually I'm going to move it down so you can see. And then here I'll do my very best to cut down here. Yes, I got one. See? Here we go. So it doesn't actually take much. And also a bunch of these ones are really great at self-seeding, so you have it everywhere. So cutting is just one way I propagate my perennials. Again, I add one here and definitely need one more on the other side. See if we can find one more here. Here's a great one. See if I can cut it there. Doesn't have to be a perfect cut. There we go. Ooh, that was a nice one. Crazy how exciting it can be from a cutting. This one goes in the other corner, and then definitely just some water in the beginning.
And we're really excited because we're able to plant these in that free flower bed that we're planting over at our neighbor's house right behind Lars. So we're working on a free flower bed where everything is grown from seeds and from cuttings. Yeah. So we really need these.
That's true. And this one is actually also really great. We have always insects coming from in warmer countries coming up here to visit. So we have one that looks like a hummingbird. Which
the hummingbird hawk moth.
Exactly. And every year I have at least two, and always I run out because they are so fast. And I think it's so great to see them because we otherwise don't have them in the garden. So they come every summer, and then I have to run out and take pics. And it always goes to this Valerian, both in the white and the pink one we have.
Now I'll come back down to the ground because right next to it is the burning love. That's the best translation of the Danish name.
In Danish, brændende kærlighed. So here you can see the old stem, and the great thing about all these perennials, then they just start growing again from the base down here. So I'll try and cut, see if I can. There we go. And then I'll just get some more. And then see, this one is not so far up. I can just move a little bit there. And then I think I'll show you another one. Place it down there. See if I can find one more, maybe the one next to it here. I'll just move the old stem, then I can better show you. Cut down here, and then we'll start to grow some more. There we go. And add it in here.
And for anyone who's new to our channel, that's such a fun thing to say, if you're new to our channel, most of this garden, okay, it doesn't look like much, the garden behind you, let's be honest, but when it's in flower, there's a lot of color here, and we use cuttings, propagating, growing from our own seeds. Anyway, what I was trying to say is cuttings, this garden was basically given by cuttings. So we're big fans.
Yeah. So we had one of our very favorite late flowers, the Salvia Caradonna, the stouter Salvia. And this one is really nice because it has purple flowers. And all this old one is finished, but over here on this side I have some that's coming from the ground down here. So again, I find a good one, see if I can cut it. I think so. There we go.
That knife actually came with the house. You know that, right? It was here when we moved in.
See here, you can actually see it, so it kind of shooted up again. So that shows exactly perennials. The job is they grow up, they have the seed pods, toss them, and then they kind of looks like they are dead. They have these stems in winter, and then they kind of die back and fall asleep, and then they start again the whole process in the spring, growth on the side, and then this old one has been cut off. Here I have 2 actually. So I'm super excited for that one. That goes in here. Stout Salvia I can never get enough of. We have them in whites and pinks and dark purple, and they are really great for the insects if you're looking for perennials for late flower, but also for insects, and they like full sun, so really drought tolerant, which is another extra good plus. So these 2 are in.
So here's proof that we do in fact have a problem with snails, although these are dead. So now they become compost.
Oh wow. Okay, can we go back to cutting? So here we have a sedum, and that you can actually do all year round. I did also summer and autumn, so it's not only here in spring. So if you're afraid that I won't have time, stressing about when can I do this, a lot of them you can do from now and then all the way until autumn. Even the sedum, if you have them in a bouquet, add fresh water like once a week, they start to also to create roots. So this one is one of
it's one of the easiest, and if you're
you cannot succeed,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's really
super easy.
Yeah.
And if you're excited to get started with cuttings,
Yeah.
start with a sedum.
Yeah. So here they're not so high up, so I'll try and cut down again. I can get one. I got one there. But these ones are super easy. I also have one with dark foliage that I definitely need to also do cuttings of, because this one has the green foliage, but also perennials with dark foliage is really great when it's not in flower yet. So the dark one I have to do cuttings of as well.
And this is really good for late summer color too.
That's true. I'll do another one maybe down here somewhere. Can I find one? Maybe there. Ooh, not so easy. I'll cut it and show you. Yeah, I got one. And then if it has too many foliage down there, I can take the bottom one off there. A perfect cutting.
Exactly. And if this is your first time and you're starting with a sedum, you know what? If you had messed up, if you had taken off the top or whatever, don't worry about it. This guy is going to grow. Goodness gracious, it's going to grow.
He's an easy one.
Right? The sun is out, the ground's feeling warmer, so he's just getting started.
Yeah.
Speaking of sedum, here's some that we took at the end of summer, maybe the beginning of August, and they sat in the greenhouse most of the winter, and now they're sitting outside, but you can see that they're doing really well. So the cutting that we took was this, and then actually started shooting up from the ground. Isn't that fantastic? Roots are coming out, so these are ready to go. These are actually going to the neighbors. In front of the neighbors' houses, we started a project. I've talked about it a lot, but we started a project 2 years ago now. So a lot of these are going to go out in front of the neighbors, so everybody has some color in front of their house.
So another great, I have many favorites. I can only list 5. But here we have Phlox, which is a really nice one. So definitely more of those. So again, cut down as much as I can with my knife, and then ta-da! A great little Phlox cutting. This is a nice white one.
And if you're starting to think, wow, every cutting feels like the same process, it is. It's really the same process. I often tell Lars, I'm like, nobody wants to watch us dig a hole and stick a plant in it. But then I think, you know what? We like to watch people garden too.
And hope they see to the end, because then they might have some favorites too. That like, oh, I didn't know I could do a cutting of that. So here, Phlox is definitely a great one. Next one, before you don't cut me off yet, but I have an Iberis over here that Amnesty is a purple one. We also have it in white. You could also do cuttings. You could, if you don't have a knife nearby, just do maybe this one here. So actually do like a kind of a heel. You kind of pull it off. See if I can do it here. And it creates a little heel here. So this one is also...
Well, let's show that heel.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
So it kind of where I pulled it off. I'll do one more.
So you see that it was the part that was connected to the main stem, if you want to think of it like
So
that.
if you see one...
If this was a tree, it'd be like the side branch.
Yeah. So you pull here without ripping the whole thing. There you go. Oh, here's a good heel too. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Good. So these two will also create... I have some I did also, and these ones, you could do it now when it's in great growth, but you could also do, like I mentioned earlier, in summer or later in autumn, where it's in the growing season. I had some I did late autumn. I placed them in the greenhouse, and these Iberis, they also have nice roots now. I placed them in a shoe tray, and then I watered from the bottom down because then they also get really stronger roots by going down looking for the water. So these go in here too, and I keep these watered. Doesn't look like much now, but believe me, later on they will have really nice roots.
Okay, one more random thing. So the tulips are coming up, and look, they have pierced the leaves. So these leaves have fallen off the tree, and look, isn't that funny?
Here we go again, Mr. Science.
Isn't that funny? Wow, nature, creation is incredible, right? There you go, be free! All right, where are we?
Okay, we are at the very last one actually, the bjergknopwood, and it has really hairy, almost silvery foliage here, and also really a nice perennial. Kind of also spreads by itself, but I always like to get more. I'll try and do a little cutting of that one.
This one doesn't kind of spread by itself. This one really does spread by itself. This is quite the spreader, but for our neighbor's garden, it'll be beautiful.
Yeah, that's true. Both with the seeds, but also with the underground roots.
But not in a crazy way, I should say. I don't want the bjergknopwood people coming after me. It's a very beautiful plant, so we're happy for it.
So here we go. We put one, and then maybe I'll do one more.
Let me get a little closer. Which one will you do, Lars? Can you do one on my side?
This one?
Can you do one in front, up here, like?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
do
let
one
me
there?
just move close then. And these ones also comes in so many different varieties. That's a great thing about perennials. This is a bluish color. We also have in a white. Kind of see if I can cut here.
Yeah, that's great.
Here, I'm cutting. And there we go. See, we got one.
Very nice.
And then it's only left to do to push this in. And these ones, some of them I noted another great tip is that to put the date on. So this was 22nd of March actually. I did them all because then you can keep an eye on or if you have in a notebook how long it takes. But depending on which one, around those estimated 6 to 8 weeks. I keep it watered here, nice in the beginning, and it will go on a shelf in the greenhouse. And then it's just up to keep an eye on it. And another thing is that in the beginning also you get so eager to try not to disturb them before 8 weeks. Sometimes it's 10 or even 12, but wait until you see new growth or there's roots in the bottom, because disturbing them too early or pulling them up, some people say you can pull it up, and if it doesn't resist, then there's growth. Rather wait. I'm talking from experience, and then it's gonna mess up the growth of the roots. So give it time. Don't every day look, any new growth. It needs weeks. So just be patient.
So there we go. Not bad for an afternoon, Lars.
A tray full of free cuttings, free plants. So I'm gonna put them somewhere nice and warm in the greenhouse. So I hope you got inspired and go out and do some too. So thank you so much for watching. Moin!